Welcome to the Snap UK podcast, your home for news, views and opinions on the NFL from this side of the pond. Another week where we're winging it because no one had time to do a script, but luckily only 2 games to discuss. So, it was championship weekend in the NFL. There are 2 extremely looking miserable people here at the table this evening, not happy with the result, not happy with being down to a 4th string quarterback. But there are 3 people sat at this table who revelled in the delight of their demise.
I look tired because I've not slept, but I've not slept because I'm still laughing.
We'll come to that very briefly. Before we do, we will also be discussing the shortlist for Players' Awards of the season and the few coaching hires and appointments that have been made since the last time we had a chance to bring this up on the podcast. So, 2 games to get to. First up, 49ers against the Eagles, and what should have been probably the best game of the season, ruined by another injury to a quarterback. This time, Brock Purdy hit by Hassan Reddick. Perfectly clean hit. Forced a fumble and tore the UCL in the elbow, which is something in baseball players results in Tommy John surgery. I believe Brock Purdy has come out to say he hopes he's going to have it repaired rather than replaced. The Tommy John surgery is replacement. If he has it replaced, he will not play the first 6 to 8 games of next season.
It's only 6 months.
Could be a year.
They are saying he may miss 6 to 8 games next season, in which case you currently would have no quarterbacks on your roster who can play at the start of next season.
Yep.
Which would not be great. So
Let's come on to that later.
Let's cover the game first.
Discussion's already on that.
This should have been, and for a while was, a really tight game. There was only 7 points in it at the half.
No, 14.
14.
The Josh Johnson
fumble.
Yeah, he fumbled it, and that ended up.
Then didn't do anything. Kind of looked at it for a couple of minutes.
Well, he jumped on it and missed it.
Well, he had it kicked out of his hand, didn't he? On the ground.
The McGlinchey kicked it out of his hand.
It wasn't a Cam Newton moment where he just stared at the ball and then ran the other way.
It was close.
It wasn't that.
It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't
that bad. So we should point out Josh Johnson, journeyman on his 14th team in the NFL. He hasn't started for all of them. He only has 9 career starts since 2009, I think. Right. He has played in 4 different leagues, we discovered.
It was his first ever playoff game.
His first ever playoff game. Excellent. Well done to him for making it this far. However, you can't pretend for a second he looked ready to be playing in an NFL playoff game.
2 delay games in about 5 snaps.
Yeah, wasn't ideal.
I don't think anyone's saying that he was ready or should have been ready. He came in very late. I think this is one game where the 49ers' luck just ran out.
Yeah.
Because everything.
Kyle Shanahan maximises every ounce out of everybody, every 2nd, 3rd, 4th string player. But
you get down to your 4th string quarterback. And
how long has he been with the team? He's been with the team 2 weeks?
Yeah. And then he gets knocked out as well.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So then Josh Johnson, also injured, given a concussion. Back in comes, first Christian McCaffrey played some snaps at quarterback. Then
Purdy comes back in. A 5-yard screen pass, which looked like it was only just going 5 yards. I think that demonstrated how bad the elbow was.
He couldn't throw the ball.
Do it. I will say,
it just meant the defense could just line up any running back. Deebo Samuels was running backwards to try and run around the entire Eagles defense. I thought he was going to just run out of the stadium at times because he literally had nowhere to go, did he? It was just. I thought he was going to run down the tunnel and just like, if I take all the balls with me, we don't have to play anymore.
You remember when the Broncos had their entire quarterback room got COVID?
Kendall Hinton.
Yeah, and Kendall Hinton. Yeah.
It just felt a bit like that to me.
Absolutely.
It was a shame because it spoilt a spectacle. Yeah. It's not all at Josh Johnson's door. He was getting some stern words in this room while we were watching it. But what's he supposed to do?
Protect him.
Yeah.
And the same with Purdy. Purdy...
The hit from Reddick on Purdy was unblocked.
Yeah. Unblocked twice.
He wasn't unblocked. He was blocked by a tight end, which was a mismatch.
Yeah, a backup tight end.
It was a poor choice.
I think the next play he was blocked by a wide receiver. Like it's as if the fact that Hassan Reddick's had 16 fucking sacks this season is a surprise to the 49ers. It wasn't great. You do need to protect him better, but that's the thing with the Eagles. They are deep. You block one guy, then you'll just
That's just
create
it.
space for the next one.
They're a team that had the most sacks throughout the season, and probably the most
That's
sacks in
ever.
history.
Ever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they had,
like,
they had
you
3 players with more than 10
Four.
sacks.
Four
Yeah, okay.
with more than 10. Look, it was just one of those games. Like it was two teams that both have top 5 offense and top 5 scoring defenses in the league, and it should have been a great spectacle. And if Brock Purdy could have played the game, we may well have lost still, you know.
Yeah.
And neither me or Jim, either of us, were crying about the Devonta Smith catch. It looked like a catch.
Yeah,
Wasn't a catch.
so let's discuss
Doesn't
that.
matter,
That was
but,
in the 2nd or 3rd minute of the game.
Yeah.
And we, in that drive, we had them.
They were
4 for
fourth
3, and then this was a big 3rd down as well.
3rd and 12,
This
wasn't it?
was their 4th down.
Was it
It was fourth down, yeah.
Fourth
it was,
down.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it was the 4th and 3, but he went long, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it would have been turned over.
it was
and
a
down.
20-odd yard pass down the
Yeah.
field that Devonta Smith hauled in until you saw the reverse camera angle where the ball clearly bounced off the floor back into his hands.
The thing is, you didn't see. I mean, I came in late.
Yeah, you
and
walked in.
I
as it
came in and
happened.
said the radio said that it wasn't a catch. What did you guys think? And you go, oh no, it was definitely catch.
Well,
And we watched it on the wall,
And it-
on the
yeah.
projector.
It took a good few minutes for that replay to come through.
They reckon it was 40 seconds before the booth got the
Yeah.
replay, and
I
they
think-
got the next snap off in 21 seconds.
So yeah, I think.
But we knew that something was up
was
because
the
he was
reaction of the
running back
player.
to the line
Yeah.
saying, hurry up,
I
and
think
get
at
back to the
that
line.
point, and I know they can't, and I know it's not within the rules that they can at all. So I'm not putting it, but I think this needs to be a rule change. The officials need to say, hang on a second, can we just stop there and have a look at that?
No,
Why not? Why
it's
no?
already
Why no?
3 hours long.
Why?
I'm with
What
John.
What difference does it make?
I'm
Then,
with John.
then you run the risk that they could look at all of them.
Yeah.
They're going to look at all of them.
Something was obviously,
And they're still
something
going to
was
miss
obviously-
them.
Yeah.
And then all you're going to do is create a 4.5 hour fucking
So
game.
now we're saying we're okay with people cheating.
It's
Yeah.
not fucking
It
cheating.
is cheating, John, because he didn't catch the ball. He knew he didn't catch the ball, hence him going back to the line saying, quick, get a playoff so we can get away with it. We can get away with it.
I'll just
He's
be
cheated.
more blatant about it. I'm absolutely okay
I'm
with
fine
the
with
cheating.
it.
I'm absolutely okay
I'm
with the
okay
cheating.
with it.
We're fine with cheating in the
Yes,
game.
yes, absolutely. If you don't get caught, it's not
talking to a
cheating.
Patriots
Yeah,
fan.
I'm absolutely
Good point,
okay with
actually.
that.
Yeah, fair
Like,
point.
there are
Griff grew up watching NFL, watching people who cheated every week.
17 officials on the field. If one of them can't
Griff-
spot it, that's tough luck.
Griff goes and watches other people do podcasts. That's how much he cheats.
I do think there will be something because it's during these championship games where everyone's watching it, and now with the the onset of betting in the US, with God knows what kind of gambling authorities or the government getting involved in it, who's going to have money on it, where's the money lead? They're going to look into it, and you may like it or not, but it is cheating. He's got away with it. I don't begrudge Devonta Smith at all because if it was a 49 player, I'd be cheering him. Yeah, well done. You played the game right.
And
you
it's-
played the game how
exactly.
it should be going.
Yeah.
And he's
I
taking
would-
advantage of that situation,
I
but
would
it is
say-
still cheating.
I would say if I was Devonta Smith, it's a bit like we use a cricket analogy. Sometimes you think you've caught the ball and you're not quite sure if it's
So
brushed the
you
grass.
celebrate as hard as you possibly can to try and influence
you
the
don't
referee.
know, do you? And I would say he did not know whether that was a clean catch, whether it touched the ground. It wasn't.
I
He
think
knew
he
it wasn't. Well, he knew it wasn't clean, but whether he knew he dropped it, and it's that whole idea of like. And I'm a Niners fan, obviously, but it's that whole idea of did he drop the ball or was he still going? Like he did drop the ball that time, but he didn't lose total control, did he?
No.
Like a ball's not allowed to move now. Like we've made
But
it so
touched the
complicated.
ground. I think you're right. We've made it so complicated about what's a catch, what's
Yeah,
not a catch.
it's just
the ball
like-
touched the ground.
Like,
I think we can all
watched it
say
in
that's
real-
not a catch.
But we watched it
But
in real time,
we
and
watched
we
it-
all thought it was a catch.
Yeah.
It's not like he like bounced it on the floor and picked it up
no,
again
it's
like
not.
it was like volleyball or
And
something.
I'm not
I
saying
don't
that
know.
is. All I'm saying is we all look at the replay. We all knew it wasn't
Yeah.
a catch. I think he knew it wasn't a catch, which is why he played the game just over the edge of the rules, if you ask me. But he played the game that's in front of him, and he
I
worked
agree
it
with
well.
you
And so
entirely.
did the Eagles. And I'm not begrudging any of them. All I'm saying is I think there needs to be a look at that rule change.
I think to call it cheating is egregious because he doesn't know. We didn't know, and otherwise.
Well, he's not going to turn around. He's not going to turn around to the officiator
Yeah,
and
say,
go.
"Oh,
and
do you
go,
know what?
Do you know what? I'm not sure if that's a catch or not.
To follow Gary's analogy, in cricket, if you nick the ball and the umpire doesn't give you out caught behind, you're not cheating if you don't walk. You're just not following the unwritten rules. He could have stood up, handed the ball to the official and gone, I dropped it. But if he'd done that and it was your team, you'd be shouting at him.
Also, the other team aren't pressurising you into reviewing it. There's a clock that reviews it. You're not being pressured into reviewing it. They're not. The other team aren't suddenly going to bowl. Going to bowl it quickly or whatever it might be to try and speed up the game.
Do you know what I'd do if I was in charge of the NFL?
Oh God, has this got anything to do with what we're talking
Yeah.
about?
Strippers at halftime. What? That's left field.
Embezzlement.
Oh, the Dan Snyder approach. I see.
He's got those colours on tonight.
Yeah,
I was about to say put a contract out with Dan Snyder.
Yes, Paul.
Once I've disenfranchised the Browns as a team, I would mic up every player for the studio. Not for the studio. I'd mic up every player for the NFL officials, just so you can go, okay, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I've got the time to. Let's listen to what he's saying.
Well, because there's lots of religious people in America, and that means you can't mic up
Well, you
players.
don't have to broadcast it.
Not for broadcast, but for the officials. So
They're not going to do that.
Anyway,
It's just-
look, end of the day, it didn't
Look,
change.
it's
the game.
New York already getting involved a lot
Yeah.
in games now.
It's
It's
too
a good
much.
debate.
And
but-
not-
and they are at the end of games, yeah. Because what they would say is, right, yeah, maybe we got that decision wrong, but over the course of the game, you've still got another 50 minutes to go, 55 minutes to go. So
Absolutely.
man up and get on with it.
So what?
Like,
So hang on. So it's different if it happens in the last minute.
Well, it is though, isn't it? Because
Why?
that's the rules
Why?
that are in place.
I
'Cause
think,
that is different. They get.
I think we're in danger of becoming like one of those twats I've seen on on Twitter all weekend going, no, the NFL's rigged now. And basically, like,
Oh, well, that's just bullshit.
it is bullshit. And it's the same people that...
There is a lot of that. This
There
so
is,
much.
there is,
It
there
was,
is,
it was
there is.
trending.
I know I mentioned it a
Yeah,
few weeks ago,
but
didn't I?
It's like flat Earth, isn't it?
Well, it's the same people.
Yeah.
It's the Venn diagram. It's the flat Earth, COVID deniers, NFL rigged. The Venn diagram is a
Trump
circle.
supporters.
A complete circle.
I'm not saying the NFL is rigged, but there is a lot of NBA scandals around the games and the referees involved, and there's documentaries
To
of
be
it.
fair, it wasn't a great weekend for the officiating.
No,
at
it
all.
wasn't. No.
But I
does that
agree
not
with
prove
John.
it's just they're just
I
not
agree.
human?
Yeah,
but-
Yeah, they're just not good
they've had a
enough.
bad weekend,
Yeah.
and it's in the glare of the international spotlight.
But that's where the NFL should be better, because if you take soccer, English football, the biggest games get the best officials.
They still
They
fuck
rank
up.
but they rank the performance of the officials.
They're supposed to do that in
I
the NFL
don't-
as well.
I mean, like,
So we were saying, weren't we, John, in the NBA on, I think, Thursday or Friday night last week, LeBron got fouled and it wasn't called.
It was
So,
the
that-
last
so the last play of the
game.
game before it went to overtime, it would have won the Lakers a game. It
Or give
didn't
them
get
a chance
called.
to.
And as they went off to get ready for overtime, his teammate grabbed a camera off of a reporter that showed the moment and tried to show it to the officials, who then gave him a technical foul, which then gave the opposition a free throw to start overtime, which meant they were then instantly ahead.
And he got ejected.
He got
didn't
ejected, yeah, because it was his second technical.
I mean, but to be fair, Pat Beverley is an arsehole.
Yes, fine.
It'd be like Antonio Brown coming back with a camera.
Yeah,
But he wasn't wrong.
No,
I do disagree with that. This whole notion of, and that's an extreme example with a lot of passion at the time. I don't think players should get fined for mildly criticising the officiating, saying, "I don't think you got to play it." As soon as any player says, "I think they fucked up," then they get fined, and I think that's wrong.
Whenever you play sport, and I get it's professional sport, and the officials get paid and all this stuff, but like professionals make mistakes, yeah. People's they make penalties when they're not supposed to. They line up in the wrong fucking place. All these type things, yeah.
Absolutely.
Like so, officials. It's like if you want these people to do it, you have to allow them to make human error, and that is part of life in anything. So you can't expect every decision to be perfect.
Hate it when I agree with him, but I am agreeing with him.
And I'm a Niners fan, and and if it came down to the last minute, I might be sitting here saying something else, but it's not reasonable.
I've always said the same about
Has
football.
to be reasonable.
It's the same with football for me, right? These people are paid by the league to make the decisions that govern the games, right? But they should be accountable for that.
Yeah.
There should be a ref's press conference after the game to take 5 questions. That's all we're going to do. We'll explain these points, and then we're off.
Trot up the head
why
coaches
are you
and
a
quarterbacks.
cheat?
And look, they do explain the decision in NFL.
No, they don't. It's an analyst hired by the network that does it.
No, but they do. Well, they say what decisions they've made. In rugby union, you can hear them mic'd up, and they quite clearly. And if the players don't like it, they might get it wrong. But they go. What I love about rugby union is they say, based on what I'm seeing, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing they could ever do in any other sport. And then if they're still wrong, they get coached by their boss, don't they? Not by the players. That's not how it works.
It was 6 plays into the game. It got so much more to do. Like it's
I
not
see,
egregious.
Yeah, I know. I see you coming, but I don't think that should make a difference.
Oh no, I don't think it makes a difference. I'm just saying you still had 58 minutes to win the game, and still a quarterback. Yeah. You know, I don't mind the referees making mistakes because it's an entertainment sport. If it's perfect, it's a 4.5 hour game for even the shittest games because like we're gonna get 4 hour games of like Texans Browns where no one cares, but is that a catch? We'll go to the booth and.
Okay.
It's an entertainment.
Let's move on from that. Let's talk about the moment that defined the game, the Brock Purdy injury, because you were 7 points down when Brock Purdy was hit by Hassan Reddick, as we say, basically unblocked. It was a backup tight end, but he got there unimpeded. Yep. He hit Purdy's arm as it was in the retracted position. But unluckily, the arm came forward and hit the ball that was already live in the air, forcing it forward to, I think, Linval Joseph picked up the ball off the ground. Now, it looked like an incomplete pass, but then when they reviewed it, which the officials stopped it to review it, I believe it was a challenge. Yeah, it was challenged, sorry,
it was challenged,
by Philadelphia. Yeah. Obviously, as the arm had come forward, but the ball was in an open hand position, he batted it forward, which was then picked up and recovered. For me, that's a far more defining moment because you had the chance to match it 7-7, and all of a sudden you turned the ball over and lost your quarterback. Now, we didn't know right then that he was out permanently. They took him off the field.
It wasn't until the next drive. Josh Johnson came out. But yeah, that's absolutely. Look, it's spoiler alert. It's my sweetest player of the week because it was a great play by Hassan Reddick to get to the ball at that point in time, dislodge it, cause a fumble, and then
Absolutely. It won the game.
It won the game for them because, it's not like you're going from Jimmy G to Brock Purdy to an extent. You're going from Brock Purdy, your third-string quarterback, to your fourth-string quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it was a harsh baptism for Josh Johnson. We mentioned this earlier, but I don't... Look, what more did you think you were going to get from him?
Look, I think I had the Eagles to just win this game.
As did I, actually.
By like 5 to 7 points, based on the fact that they had the more established, more experienced, and just more, just the quarterback. That was the reason I had the Eagles to win it. I thought, other than that, matched up quite well. Debo and Ayuk versus Smith and AJ Brown. Miles Sanders and Gainwell versus McCaffrey and the Juice and. They match up very well. The two defenses match up very well.
Yeah.
It always came down to the difference in quarterback. So then when we had no quarterback, it's just not a game, is it? So,
even when we did, I mean, you have to give, I think you do have to give the 49ers some credit that they stayed in the game for quite as long as they did.
Well, if they hadn't turned it over just before half time.
Exactly. It would have been, it could have been 14-10.
Yeah, it could have been very
close. Or
it
it could have been 14-all. So, I have to give props to the 49ers defense. They kept him in it. I didn't think the Eagles' offense was all that.
The Niners' defense was superb.
I do think the Eagles' offense took their foot off the pedal because I think they knew they could manage the game and they didn't have to score that many points.
In defence of Josh Johnson, his last appearance for another team, in 2021 was for the Ravens. He started one game. This was when Lamar, Tyler Huntley, and Trace McSorley were all absolutely done. Started one game, had 40 attempts, completing 28 of them, threw for 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and was actually, more than serviceable. This was just a harsh baptism against the best defence one of the top 2 defences in the NFL. What more were you really going to get? This is my point. I know he handed the ball off a lot. He had the fumble. It's unlucky, but
I also don't think any 49ers fan, I'll take me and Gary included in this, as soon as the incident with Brock Purdy happened, I think we all knew. And you look at some of the pictures of the 49er fans in the stadium and they knew as well. Everyone was just this game's done.
Well, considering the Niners had field position twice at halfway and didn't get any points, that was a problem, obviously. And then, the other problem was the defense played absolutely brilliant, but we didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
No. That was the key. Yeah. If we'd have got an easy score, a pick six or, it needed something like that to ignite the game.
Yeah.
And it just didn't.
You were unlucky.
If we'd have got that safety, that might have been the thing that ignited it.
Hurts managed to get about 6 inches outside the end zone, and it wasn't by far.
It wasn't by far. No.
He still only got 1 sack.
Yeah, I thought on balance, considering what happened, I thought the Niners were basically just unlucky.
Yeah.
I still think, having seen the game, I think the Eagles would have still won, but I had the Niners to win before the game. I didn't think the quarterback disparity was that big, but
it is.
Yeah, maybe so. And it does lend credence to the fact that since Hurts now looks fit, he is one of the most valuable players in the league. Like, that Eagles team is so much better with him playing. Whether he's left it too late for the MVP run, maybe, because he missed some weeks, but he just makes them a far bigger, more viable team. Like, his input is massive. Regarding the Niners' defense, DeMeco Ryans is rumored to be moving to Texans. Jim says to me this evening this is virtually a done deal. I don't know. How is that going to impact your team? Because currently your team has some great pieces on offense, but it's always set up by your defense.
Yes,
always. What impact is that going to have? Because your defense has got a combination of some great veterans and some very young players, but he's definitely injury prone.
But didn't they say this when Salah left?
Yeah.
Well, yes. This is my point. Like, it hasn't been a drop off since Salah.
I don't think there's that many old people there now.
No, veterans.
It's quite an experienced defense. I think there's one.
It's at its peak, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
There's one story that has been circulating around, Vic Fangio, who was rumoured to be going to the Dolphins. He came out and said, nope, that's not a done deal. At the same time, there's been rumours that Kyle Shanahan and Vic Fangio have got a lot of respect for each other. He used to be in the 49ers. He's now currently jobless. It almost seems like too good a match. So they could bring in someone like that, but you don't know. DeMeco Ryans was working for Salah, and then he got promoted in a position. It could just be a case of next man up. And they carry on with the same system, and they carry on with whoever the linebacker coach is or offensive back coach is.
I mean, you say it's virtually a done deal, but you are forgetting the variable here. That
Texans.
Yeah. Crazy Bob McNair.
Yeah. I mean, as a 49ers fan, I don't think I was enamoured to see DeMeco Ryans go to the Texans, because I always want the best for the 49ers staff to go somewhere else. And Texans. Fucking hell, mate.
Okay, so we haven't actually mentioned the final score was 49ers 7, Eagles 31, which is bad. I mean, that's not ideal. That's how you don't want to end your season that way, but we know why. What have you seen out of the Eagles that makes you think, we're not previewing the Super Bowl, but makes you think this is the best team from the NFC?
Defense.
Deep.
Right.
They're just deep, aren't they? They're like defensively, like it's when Hargrave and Cox tired. Well, it's fine. We'll bring in Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh.
You always need something when your Cox tired.
Exactly. So yeah, like I think it's why I picked them at the start of the season. That squad is so deep.
Run game's
good,
and it just gets better as the game goes on. Because no, but it's not individually. None of them are that good. But you've got Scott, Gainwell, Sanders, Hurts,
and when it matters,
that's the difference. Is because if you watch, Hurts did nothing in the first half. He couldn't get a yard, and then in the second half, he was starting to run to the edge. More space came up, and because there's so many of them, they're so fresh. It's like what the Niners do.
Both of Sanders' touchdowns, he ran in completely untouched from 14 yards. It's like they scheme it brilliantly, and
they average 150 yards a game rushing.
Yeah, how many teams get over 100 yards rushing against the 49ers? It's none, apart from the Eagles. They can do it.
Is that correct this season?
I don't know. I haven't got the stats.
I thought there were 2 teams that scored.
Yes, it's rare.
Yeah.
And the Eagles did it in the first half.
Yeah, it's crazy. To John's point, I was just looking down the list of defensive players for the Eagles. Kazir White, James Bradbury, Hassan Reddick, Avon Maddox, Josh Sweat, who never gets a shout at all, CJ Gardner-Johnson and Ndamukong Suh, Brandon Graham, Robert Quinn, Javon Hargrave, stop me when you've had enough, Patrick Johnson, Jordan Davis.
Suh basically went,
Fletcher Cox.
You're struggling with the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Throw me some dollar.
John's absolutely
Darius
right.
Slay.
They won. I mean, they won the game because the quarterback the 49ers quarterback was injured, but they also won the game in the trenches.
Yeah.
The defensive and their offensive line was
that is
brilliant.
the best thing. The offensive line is the best offensive line in football.
Absolutely, yeah.
Maybe not
Well, no, I think it is.
like I'd say, like as a individuals, like you could say Trent Williams, Penei Sewell, like they've had really great years. As a unit, they are so well drilled. Like, and Kelsey might be the best centre in football. Like, he might be the most. Like, if you had to pick a Kelsey for your team, you would maybe think, do you know what, Jason might be the way to go.
Lane Johnson as well. It's had
brilliant.
an absolutely brilliant season, and he was immense on Sunday. He was absolutely immense. Like,
Am I right in thinking that Mrs. Kelsey will be the first mother to have her sons play opposite each other in the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
first
That's
time
mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Get the half and half jersey out here, or
I mean,
pick
we've
a
had
favourite child.
coaches.
Yep, the Harbaugh
siblings against each other.
But
and it's deep.
We never got any Manning on Manning action, did we?
No,
because we're shit.
Okay,
we only beat Brady.
Yeah.
Who? I don't remember. Okay,
Small guy.
look,
the next 49ers.
the Eagles walked away with it from there. We know how this story ends. We need to jump to the AFC.
Let's do that.
We need to switch gears. We need to bring up a much closer game.
Can I
Chiefs.
just say, thank God the Eagles 49ers game was the first game.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Because it had been the second game, that would
gone
have
to
been
bed.
really depressing. I would have gone to bed early.
That would have been nice, actually, just to watch the Reddick hit on Purdy and go, good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even midnight.
Yeah. Fair point.
It's been like watching the Giants and the Eagles in the round beforehand.
No, tonight, Sean, there's no shame scoring 7 points and losing by 30, is there?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bengals 20, Chiefs 23. This one went down to the last 7 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
And a massive, massive mistake, which led to some locker room drama afterwards. as well.
Tears on the sideline.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for Joseph Asai.
He was really good.
All game.
Yeah, he was.
So good in the
Such a good game. And we said it earlier, didn't we, when we were talking about fishing? He made a mistake. He fucked up.
Yeah, he fucked up bad.
Fucked up at the
it
worst
bad?
possible
I
time.
want someone to go to the booth to review why I did that with him, James.
He's just trying to make a play.
Yeah.
And it's
He's
just
going at
slightly
100 miles an
yeah.
hour. It's,
And this is why I want all the players mic'd up, because I want to hear what the other players said.
Who was the wanker of a Bengals player a few years?
Oh, no.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
This is not like the
course.
perfect thing where they got knocked out of the playoffs because he just went around headbutting people.
Yeah.
This is not the same as that. This was, like you say, a guy at 1,000,000 miles an hour trying to make a play, mistiming it. And so effectively what happened is in a 20-20 tie with several seconds left on the clock.
Gave him 15 yards.
Yeah, he handed him 15 yards. You cannot hit a quarterback out of bounds like that. You can't do that.
Can't hit anyone out of bounds.
No, but they are less likely to
Yeah,
call it on
yeah,
other players. They definitely don't look for the ticky-tacky on other players. But he knew
well
it.
out as well.
I don't
both
think-
feet in
I
the
don't think
white.
anyone can complain about the call.
No
'cause
one
it
did.
Absolutely was. And
It was the right call,
Yeah.
but it was unfortunate, like you say. And that then gave, was it a 45-yard field goal
Yeah.
attempt for Harrison Butker, the most points in postseason Chiefs history. Harrison Butker. He's only been kicking for 5 years, 6 years.
He's been in every year.
He's been in every year, and he doesn't miss. Like, he had a couple of hiccups this season, I believe, earlier in the year, but he's money. Like, when we all know in terms of kicking, there's Justin Tucker and everyone else. But we may have seen some of the best kickers this weekend with Harrison Butker, Elliott for the Eagles,
Robbie Gould.
Robbie Gould.
didn't get a chance. But
No.
yeah,
Robbie
he
Gould
would-
never
yeah.
missed in the postseason.
No, and McPherson
Ever.
for the Bengals has been excellent. So it does show you the value of kickers. They do
absolutely.
tend to take their teams a long way into the season.
Wasn't Robbie Gould at the Bears for a
Yeah.
while?
They got rid of him.
Yeah, he couldn't have played that many playoff games then if he was at the
He's
Bears
been
for
at
a
the
while.
Niners. Of course he has.
Good few years, though. He's been at the Niners, yeah.
Oh, well, I just wanted to shit on the Bears.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Don't shit on Robbie Gould, though.
It was a great game, though.
It was a great game, though, because we got the two best quarterbacks in the AFC dueling it out.
I'd say the two best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, but that's because you don't like Jalen Hurts.
I still think that these are the two.
Yeah, pure quarterback.
Pure
Yeah,
quarterback.
Even when Joe Burrow missed a pass, it was still hitting the receiver on the helmet.
Mine's only 2 inches across.
Well, there you go. He's that accurate. He could do that.
That's pinpoint right there.
Quite wide.
Well, it's like a hockey puck.
Curve right there.
Yeah, some of the throws in this game were amazing by both quarterbacks.
What Joe did.
The podcast gone.
You can't use the word chode and have people not laugh. Apart from John, who's steadfastly refusing.
I started looking at what
He's
we
got it on his
called.
Tinder profile.
I'm not discussing John Chode Farrow. We're not having that. Right, let's get things back on track. Problems for the Chiefs, though. I wish to tackle this first because this has been a problem all season. I've been shouted down a couple of times, but I'm going to bring it up again. They don't have a decent run game. It's just okay. It's just okay. And they're about to take on the best running team in football.
I think that's the thing. The Bengals have got a good defense, and they were able to bottle up that run game.
Yeah, Pacheco averaged 2.6 yards a carry off 10 carries. That was all they had.
It's okay when you have Patrick Mahomes. And you have Kelsey.
Yeah.
It helps if you have some people he can throw to.
Yeah, so
which
when
they
some
didn't
fit
have.
wide, I think
But
they're
when
down to
Kelsey-
three wide receivers.
When
I think.
Kelsey is standing 6 yards away, you don't need to do those 3-yard runs,
True,
4-yard
true.
runs. Oh, where's Kelsey this time? There he is. Where's Kelsey next time? How many catches did he have this week? It was just crazy.
7.
Not too bad then.
Point well made.
Might
He
have fallen
was,
asleep.
he was coming in half fit, wasn't he? Like
He wasn't
Yeah.
fully fit.
Back injury,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Valdez Scantling had an amazing game though.
yeah.
Like a couple of great catches. He caught the touchdown pass, which was one of the passes of the season.
I suppose that he probably just needed a future Hall of Fame quarterback to throw to him.
Obviously,
It does help. Yeah, 6 receptions, 116 yards and a touchdown.
I don't know why he was so shitty in Green Bay, really.
Because the future Hall of Famer never threw to him.
Yeah.
had a personal grudge against him for some reason. But he earned himself some money. He's only on a 1-year contract in Kansas, so he's a free agent after this year.
I think they'll re-sign him.
Should.
Another player, while we're talking about wide receivers, who missed a lot of the game with injury was Kadarius Toney, but his impact on the Chiefs this season, he's been really positive. Like, I know he didn't fit in at the Giants. It's not a dig at them. It just didn't work there. But actually, he's played really well for Kansas, and he's another one, I suspect, who could be out the door. But he's got a career ahead of him if he just isn't an arsehole.
I think if he's sensible,
Yeah.
he'll stay in Kansas with that
Agreed.
coaching staff who know how to use a player like that.
So he'll be playing in the XFL in how many years?
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, like, it's quite ironic, really, that part of the reason the Chiefs win the game is because of a great return by Sky Moore, who's been booted basically out the
He
team as punt returner.
muffed 3 punts this season, I
Muffed 3
think.
punts, so it was given to Tony. Sky Moore was only given this because Tony was injured, and he made a great return. And
29-yard return.
and that's what starts the Chiefs' last minute
Point scoring
point
drive.
scoring. Yeah. So it's just a bit ironic because he's been a bit of a disappointment this year, Sky Moore, because I was hoping for more from him.
First round receivers, you don't want to see them relegated to punt return duty. But, fair enough. This was redemption for him after the benching for it earlier in the season. Did anybody see the Kelsey celebration when he was referring to the Cincinnati Mayor?
Yes.
So the Cincinnati Mayor basically, he may have started the Burrowhead chants instead of Arrowhead. And was basically saying that the Chiefs had no chance.
Well, he wanted Joe Burrow to take a paternity test to prove that he was Patrick Mahomes' dad. Daddy, I think was the.
Didn't Burrows turn up in a sorry already or something T-shirt or
Possibly
some T-shirt that was basically meant I'm already sorry for beating you?
See, I don't mind that. That's a bit of swagger. That's
I
okay.
did not like his pink outfit though. He did look like a bit of a prick.
Quite
The
a big
thing is,
prick.
that is just Joe Burrow. He's
Yeah.
very cool. He's not used to losing, and he's got an attitude that
I like it.
I don't mind it as long as you don't mind it from Joe Burrow, who's gonna.
Andy Dalton couldn't have pulled this off, is what I'm saying.
It's when Deshaun Kaiser's going, I want 5 rings like Brady. You go, mate, you're a
Do you remember
dickhead."
that?
Yeah.
Oh,
but Joe
Deshaun
Burrow
Kaiser.
can turn up in a pink
Mr. Migraine.
denim.
It was a number.
Yeah.
It was-
But it's fine. But yeah, I think the thing with the Chiefs is like they are like mentality monsters, and which I think is the Klopp phrase, isn't
John's
it?
been at a few like classes this week. Or
But no, like they one of the reasons they get to 5 championship games in a row is because they are mentally just a very strong team as well.
The stat came up
while you're big things to do.
But I know, but it's all together.
John's voice broke.
It did. It's nice to see you hit puberty.
Go fuck yourselves. But yeah,
you saw the stat come up on the screen. Can you remember? Patrick Mahomes has now played 5 championship games at home. Who is the only player who's played more, and how many has he played?
Brady. Was it 8?
No.
Joe Montana.
It is Brady. But he hasn't played 8. It was 7.
7. Oh, nearly
at home.
7. Yeah.
I believe Patrick Mahomes is 20
in a row.
27. No, in total. Patrick Mahomes is 27.
Yeah.
It took Brady till he was 35 to do that, I believe, or 36 to do that, because the Bucs never played at home, did they?
No.
On their run. So, Mahomes is going to break that record.
Yes.
Andy Reid has done 5 consecutive championship appearances. Gary's already said he's going to be putting his money on the Chiefs. I am definitely doing that. We'll preview it, like we'll say. But I just don't know how you bet against this man. Andy Reid, for me, this is everything. The guy he's doing what Belichick always did. Slow start, build up, work through all your issues, figure out what players are going to do what. Pacheco some weeks is brilliant, other weeks, but they work it out.
He rarely loses when he's had 2 weeks to prepare for a team or more.
And it'll be someone random. It'll be Jerick McKinnon who scores 2 touchdowns because they've been getting work out of this
Ronald
guy
Jones is on the squad.
Yeah, exactly. So
Rojo.
Rojo.
He's
there.
One carry for no yards.
Is he gonna get a second Super Bowl ring?
Potentially, yeah.
Why not? He might do. You just don't know. But
Eli Manning's got 2. It's possible for anyone.
That's a low blow. That's a low. He doesn't know what to say. Look, it's true.
I've never watched my team lose in the Super Bowl.
Also true. And we are missing the Niners losing to the Bengals in the Super Bowl, which would have been amazing.
That would have been funny.
Like we said on Sunday, it's the one good thing about the 49ers losing. We can enjoy the Super Bowl.
I'm nearly ready to believe, boys.
Yeah, nearly ready.
Almost ready to believe. Said it for you, mate.
Yeah, it's very sad. So that then sets us up with a Chiefs-Eagles final in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks' time. Is it fair to say we've ended up with the best 2 teams in the Super Bowl?
Well, they're both number 1 seed, so yeah.
So you would be happy that is, because I think
I think we said last week we'd be happy with any combination.
Yeah. But it's very rare that you get the 2 number 1 seeds.
Yeah. I think
they're the best 2 overall.
The Farrah brothers staying quiet here.
No, I completely agree. I think they are the 2 best teams.
Back in the Eagles all year.
Yeah, he has indeed.
And I've been back in the Chiefs all year.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that leads us to the end of the first part of the pod. We're back in the second half to discuss all the other things that aren't the Super Bowl. So, welcome back to the second half, and beep, 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 breaking news. We haven't got a breaking news soundbite, so I thought I'd make one up for us.
We also haven't got a booing soundbite as well. Boo. Yeah. I asked John earlier.
You attached one for me once, didn't you? Just like...
Yeah, I had a sound thing for...
Specific one for Gary, wasn't it?
Yeah, just one for Gary. But I also have one for when Gary tells a joke. Which you can't hear, but it's crickets.
Yeah,
right, Jim, breaking news,
right,
please.
So when he tells the Chronicles of Riddick joke for the 4th time.
All right, 2 head coaching announcements. First one, Broncos are hiring the 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans on a 6-year deal.
No, the Texans are.
You had one job on this podcast, one job.
Written in front of me. Texans are hiring DeMeco Ryans. And the Broncos are hiring Sean Payton. In exchange, the Broncos have to give the Saints a 1st-round pick from this year and a 2nd-round pick for next year. The contract is still to be arranged. So, where do you want to start? DeMeco Ryans to the Texans?
Don't mind, you pick.
Let's start there.
Okay.
6-year deal.
I mean,
how long is it going to last?
2 years. I mean, why? What is it? Just because they've fired 2 1-and-done coaches in a row that anyone can just go in there and say, "I want 6 years"?
I think that's part of it, isn't it?
They have to. Nobody's going to go in there and go, "Yeah, I think you've got a great playing squad. You're playoff ready," because you wouldn't let them come back for a second interview, would you? You've got to give somebody time to rebuild this team because they're utter shit.
They are. I mean, at least this time around, they're in the position where they've got draft capital. They've got 2 first-round picks and a number of other picks throughout the next couple of years, courtesy of the Deshaun Watson deal. And they got cap space.
They're 3 years away, aren't they, from being able to, especially in that division, which has always been tumultuous. They are 3 years away.
Bill O'Brien's the only Texans coach ever over 500 when he leaves his role. He was 52 and 48.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only one that's consistently got them into the playoffs.
Yeah.
With crap quarterbacks, to be fair.
It's a crap division.
Yeah, it is a crap division, usually, anyway. Is this the last shout for Nick Caserio, for instance?
Yeah.
Who's the first GM ever to hire 3 head coaches?
It absolutely is. Like,
He's probably bought himself some time by making it such a long deal, hasn't he, as well?
I mean, if this or next or the season after, if we think they're 3 years away, then he's going to go before DeMeco Ryans is going to go. Because effectively, he's hired and fired 2 coaches, both of which are year and done. This is actually, to Paul's point earlier, the Texans are stupid enough that it might not be his last deal, but yeah.
I mean, it just feels very silly in terms of not understanding what you already have in place. You know, like, why do I keep getting robbed? I keep leaving the front door open and all my stuff keeps getting stolen. I don't understand. I feel the I mean, you'd have to fire Lovie Smith for just the insubordination for doing what he did in that last game.
The first overall pick.
I was delighted for
I
Lovie
think
Smith.
everyone was delighted for that.
He was getting fired anyway, but he definitely assured himself of it. I think it's beautiful that he did that. Screw him. Yep. They've got 2 first-round picks, so you would assume they're drafting a quarterback because Davis Mills, not the answer.
Nope.
You know, backup.
Good backup.
Not the answer.
It'll be a good backup.
Question.
Better than Josh Jacobs.
Do you remember David Carr?
Yes.
Quarterback the Texans for years.
Super Bowl winning.
Yeah.
Super Bowl winning David Carr. Why are they not being mentioned in the hunt for Derek Carr? They could give him decent money. They need a quarterback. There's a Carr connection.
They still would have to give up some draft capital.
But how much draft capital would they have to give up? They've got 2 first-round picks, so why couldn't they give up a second for Derek Carr?
Because the Carr family parents won't allow another one of their sons to get crippled in Texas.
Yeah, maybe, but this team is better than the one that David was on. That was a constantly terrible team. And they've got an O-line to a degree.
They've got 1 player in the O-line.
Yep, that's one more than they had when David Carr was there.
Absolute waste of.
Yeah, it would, but I'm just thinking ahead.
Does he have
no trade clause?
I was going to say, does he got a
course
trade?
he
No
has.
trade.
Yeah,
He's not going to go to Texas.
You'd have thought not, but you know somebody like that could accelerate a rebuild because then you could use 2 first-round picks on other positions of need.
That's not the
He does
Texans
have a lot
way.
of power, Carl.
No.
You know, if we're saying he's going to get paid $40 million if he's there by like Valentine's or something.
15th of Feb, he gets 40
So
million.
40 million.
And
he's got
he's
got a no trade clause. I think he is actually in charge of this situation.
Absolutely. I mean,
I'd love to be his agent this week. It'd be amazing.
He's probably just walked in, like, you know,
Voicemail.
hanging out.
Stick it to voicemail. It's fine.
I think if you're the Texans though, and if you're looking at this as a 3 to 6 year rebuild, actually have it as a 3 to 6 year rebuild and start with a quarterback who you think is going to be there for the next 10 to 15
Like the Jags
years.
are going to do.
Okay, so my question there is, why do you trust them to evaluate a quarterback? So they've gone through Deshaun
I
Watson.
don't trust them.
But they've gone through Deshaun Watson,
trust themselves,
and it
though,
turns
right?
out they did
Someone
well
has
there.
to.
Let's be honest, they did well with the Deshaun Watson pick.
Yep.
They didn't know it was going to be a toucher. Like, that wasn't necessarily on them to start with. But what makes you think that this office can handpick the next good quarterback?
Absolutely nothing.
This is a silly conversation because this is like asking me why shit will smell like ice cream next week. They are always going to be bad.
Is there a quarterback worth taking in the top 5 this year?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's 2.
Well, then just take one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how simple it is.
I think they'll be free. I think they'll be free in the top 10.
But like,
It's true.
Like, we're going all
Yeah.
around the houses, but they don't have a franchise quarterback.
No.
Go and get Derek Carr. Is he going to be good enough? Is he not going to be good enough? Is he past his prime? Is he not past his prime? Just go and get a top 5 quarterback and give it a run.
Like I said,
you know?
they'll be free in the top 10 this year.
Well, just take one.
Yeah, that's it. Otherwise, it's like asking
Like,
why
if you
aren't Bournemouth buying Mo Salah?
If you think both are okay, then
Well,
then drop down to third.
It's all very well they're being free in the top 10, but we've seen top 10 quarterbacks over the last few years.
Zach Wilson is shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know.
So what I mean, why trust the
Go and get
Texans?
yourself
They are
Darnold.
the same
Darnold-
as the Jets.
Darnold will be available. Just go and get Darnold.
Don't do that. You're better off staying with Davis
No, you're
Mills.
not.
What
Darnold's a better player.
What about
than Davis Mills.
Mayfield?
What about him?
He's got to play somewhere.
He's available, isn't
Is
he?
he?
Yeah.
Has he
He
got
was
to
only on a
play?
short-term deal.
I don't know. Somebody's got to play for the Panthers. Don't forget that.
It's going to be a quarterback merry-go-round again.
Darnold will play for
Yeah,
the Panthers.
Darnold might do. He finished the season well.
Anyway,
Sean
Payton.
Sean Payton, the more exciting part of this topic.
New film coming out.
So, what's the conversation again?
Broncos are sending Saints their 2023 first-round pick and their 2024 second-round pick.
And they must be picking early this year.
No, they've got the
They've already traded out.
They've got
the 29th pick from San Francisco has made its way to because of Chubb.
It went to Miami and now it's gone to Denver.
Right.
So no is the answer. They're not picking that
That's
high.
a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not picking that high because they gave their high pick to the Seahawks.
So I guess that's the question. Isn't it? Is Sean
That
Payton,
Seahawks deal for Russell Wilson is
it's
fucking hilarious. Because he is washed up.
But
And they got loads for him.
Sean Payton with Russell Wilson, right? You're all on board the Russell Wilson is washed up cart, right?
Oh, yes.
but Sean Payton with Russell Wilson is a different prospect.
Man, if it was me, I would just put him on the sauna. I'd just take him off the road. Like, just park him up. I wouldn't even bother taxing him this year.
He's in the garage. He's done. Fucking hell.
It's only good for weekends.
This is a 2013 model.
Yeah, okay. But
So the ones not on the Russell Wilson is done bandwagon, the guys with the oldest cars.
hi there. Yeah, maybe. I just think if anyone can reignite him, it is someone like Sean Payton. You'll soon find out if Sean Payton's worth his money. If they get 3 vintage seasons out of Russell Wilson because they've signed Sean Payton, they'll be a force.
Yes.
Yeah, that was what they were missing this season. Russell Wilson, despite having him. So this is a great appointment. He's clearly happy to work with Wilson. Wilson will be delighted to have Sean Payton. What? How can this fail? Go on, tell me how. Go on, Gary. Tell me how this can fail.
I'm watching somebody get their leg broken. It's going to fail because Russell Wilson is not Russell Wilson of
2013.
Well, like it's a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just this season. You know, since he got injured, it's not been the same. Russell Wilson does not want to put a team on his back anymore.
No.
I don't believe that to be the case. I don't think he's mobile enough. When you look at the likes of Justin Fields, you know, he's not in that league now. Even the way Mahomes moves around, I don't think he's in that league in terms of his movement. Russell Wilson, it was always scrambled plays and broken plays where Russell Wilson was at his best. Plus, he doesn't have Tyler Lockett to throw to. There's loads of reasons why Russell Wilson will not ever be the same Russell Wilson again.
Back in the day when Russell Wilson was to the Seahawks and there was rumours he was going to be traded, I mean, this is way before they actually eventually traded him. There were 3 or 4 teams he mentioned. One was Dallas, one was Chicago. Was one New Orleans under Sean Payton?
Don't
Can't
remember that.
But it feels like, it does feel like, this is a last chance hurrah for Russell Wilson. If he can't make it work under Sean Payton, who's one of the generational talents at offensive coaching that we've ever seen, then he's not going to make it work anywhere.
But why do you think it wouldn't work? I mean, like, I know Gary's given you some reasons, but Russell Wilson's still a really solid quarterback in there somewhere.
A massive dick as well. All you hear is
How do you know?
It's hard to work with, isn't he? Everyone just says he's just an arsehole.
I think that
Doesn't fit.
Yeah.
His ego has got a bit bigger than his actual
Talent.
ability has got.
I think that's the reason it might not work, is if his ego gets in the way. If he's... Look, at the end of the day, if he turns around and goes, I'm Russell Wilson, I run a Super Bowl, Sean Payton can go, yeah, I won a Super Bowl as well.
But do not think there's no way this appointment is being made for the compensation that's being given up unless Russell Wilson's been 100% involved.
Everyone at the moment is on Twitter is reporting that the Broncos wanted to sign DeMeco Ryans. And DeMeco Ryans turned them down and they've gone for Sean Payton.
That doesn't
Sean
surprise
Payton
me.
said he doesn't care about the quarterback. He cares about the front office.
Yeah.
He did say that.
Came out a few weeks ago, didn't he, and said that.
And that's why he would never have gone to the Texans, because the front office is a mess.
Absolutely abysmal.
But is the Broncos that much better? Now,
know.
we don't know. And
They've
this is the issue.
only been in position for a year.
And this is the issue.
They are very new to owning a
So
football
the next
club.
part of my question is it like Sean Payton, who had a lot of influence in New Orleans, a bit like Ron has in Washington. Like, is he being allowed that sort of influence?
I would say he wouldn't have gone somewhere that wouldn't give him that influence.
Yeah, so Bill at the Patriots, etc. Like, he's going to be that level.
He's the only, I guess he's the only coach available that can command that clout because he's got a very successful history of turning around a franchise that was always
they had
terrible.
like 2 winning seasons before he got there. Yeah,
going out, signing a quarterback, and making it a Super Bowl winning and continually contending franchise.
Yeah, with a quarterback that people thought was washed up.
Yeah,
because Drew Brees was done.
Yeah,
he turned Jameis into his final year into a passable thing. Like Taysom Hill,
Teddy Bridgewater was decent under him.
Yeah, like if he can, these guys have less talent than Russell Wilson. If he can unlock it, and
no, he hasn't got Lockett anymore. He's not there.
But if he can, like wind it back a couple of years and be like, okay,
he can't.
Why not?
Why not?
Because I don't think.
But this is the same argument.
This
is the same argument like we had about Brian Daboll, the start of the season. You're like, oh, he's a bad coach. Like, well, we don't know. Let's give him a fucking chance. Let's give him.
I didn't say anything about Brian Daboll.
Let's not go over old ground.
Nothing to do with Brian. That's nothing to do with the fucking Giants. We're talking about a fucking quarterback that used to play for the Seahawks. Got nothing to do with some fat coach.
No, I get where he's
got nothing to do with him.
I get where he's coming from here. So everybody assumed Daniel Jones was not league quality. It's amazing.
Not.
But it's amazing how one season can change things.
But he's not. He shouldn't be a starter.
But he got the team into the playoffs and won a game.
Who would you take over Daniel Jones?
15 touchdowns. It's not enough.
Daniel Jones or Russell Wilson, Gary? Who are you taking?
Oh, that is really tough.
Go on. Who are you taking? Get off the fence.
Jones.
Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, or Tyler Huntley?
Anyone but Tyler Huntley.
Who made the Pro Bowl?
Tyler Huntley, who's got to the Pro Bowl as an alternate, has thrown how many touchdowns this season?
I think it's 3.
It's 2.
Oh, it's
I know we are, and I've gone early on the Russell. Some people say I've gone early on the Russell Wilson thing.
You have,
yeah.
And
I've stayed
premature. Some would say
I have stayed committed to what I believe and what I think I see with my eyes every time he takes to the field for the last 2 years. He is not the same player.
Oh, I agree with you, but he's got a better chance with Payton than Captain Ballbag.
I'm not denying that.
Jim's never been in charge.
If he doesn't have the fire anymore, if he just wants the money, if he only cares about what he's doing outside of football, I don't think it changes. Like, do enough to keep his $50 million a year salary. Brilliant.
Well, that's okay. We'll find out. What on the Tyler Huntley subject? Tyler Huntley 2 touchdowns he threw this season. 3 other quarterbacks have thrown 10 or fewer touchdowns and been voted to the Pro Bowl. Huntley has the fewest with 2. Do you want to have a guess at naming the other 3? I'll tell you the years were 1975, 1991, and 2009.
You class Taysom Hill,
Boo! The 1975 one you've never got. Never heard of him. Mike Borlia.
I like it.
1991, Ken O'Brien through 10. And also with 10, 2009, Paul's favourite player from 2009, Vince Young.
Great player.
You did love a bit of Vince Young.
I did love the Titans.
Exactly. So, Tyler Huntley there, definitely not deserving of his spot. Well, how come Jacoby Brissett has not been voted? This is ridiculous.
Take a Bailey Zappo though.
Yeah, exactly.
But I say what I said
also
earlier.
threw 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Mike White.
Exactly.
I say what I said earlier.
Joe Flacco.
It should be publicly made clear during the game, this is Tyler Huntley. All the other players were injured. He is an NFL quarterback.
He's got to wear like a yellow jacket or something.
You are at the Pro Bowl, but you are not a Pro Bowl player.
Well, it's not a Pro Bowl.
He's got to wear a funny hat. He's not allowed to wear his helmet. He's just not allowed. I'm sorry.
Should we talk about other coaching movements, I guess? So Kellen Moore.
Coaching movements is not.
Kellen Moore, the former...
Mike McCarthy's are terrible.
I know. The former Dallas offensive coordinator got released and has subsequently signed with the Chargers as offensive coordinator.
Yay.
It's a great move for Herbert.
Yeah.
It's a great... That's what they're missing, is someone who can get the best out of Herbert. They just haven't done it.
He's gone to surgery, hasn't he, Herbert?
I mean, that's why he's not at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. He's hopefully he's played like he's looked injured most of this season. Hopefully this will help because he's not been really great this year, and it's sad.
Do you think Dallas's offensive woes were all on Kellen Moore?
No. I think the quarterback isn't as good as they think. He's inconsistent. He's very spotty. He has one good game followed by 2 down games and then a bad game and then 1 good game, 2...
I think it depends if that final play against the Niners was Kellen Moore's idea.
I do.
Because if that was his idea, then he deserved to get sacked.
What I don't think is that Mike McCarthy is the right person to be calling plays, and you told me that's what's going to happen.
Yep, that's what's going to happen.
I do not understand that. When's that ever gone well?
It's never gone well.
I'm not sure. They're missing something. Kellen Moore was the hot young thing in Dallas, and I understand.
Wasn't there talk that he was going to take over last
year? I would understand if he'd left for a head coaching position somewhere else. I'd get that, but to go and be OC somewhere else just doesn't, to me, make any sense.
Still on the Dallas train. Dan Quinn said he's staying in Dallas.
Yeah, I think he's been promised the job if McCarthy doesn't win a playoff game.
He's also the highest paid DC in the league, so you'd want to continue.
I also think maybe he's looking at all the available options for head coaching. He's like, there's not one I like.
No,
and if there's not one you like, this would be his second job as a head coach.
Yeah, but
don't normally get a third, so it's got to be one that he's 100% committed to. Jets have signed Nathaniel Hackett as their offensive coordinator.
Captain Ballbag.
Captain Ballbag himself.
Just to try and get Aaron Rodgers.
Obviously.
Just to try and get Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
And
worked so well last year.
LaFleur from the Jets has gone to the Rams. The other LaFleur.
Mike LaFleur.
Just taking it back to because this just popped up on my Twitter feed. Is Rodgers speaking on the Pat McAfee show earlier today? He says, I love Hack. Hack is my guy. I love him and Megan and the kids. I don't know who Megan and the kids, but anyway, they're really special.
They're a band, weren't they? In the 90s, Megan and the kids.
We really bonded when he was in Green Bay. He made it fun. He made the room fun. He made the weeks fun.
And
anyone want to guess where Aaron Rodgers wants to go?
To Peru to smoke some more drugs.
Not allowed to Peru at the moment. It's a bit dodgy over there right now.
49ers have requested permission to interview Steve Wilkes for their defensive coordinator position. Would be a great hire. I think that would be.
Yeah, seems like they want to go for
experience.
We said previously where they brought in people under the defense coordinator. I think this time maybe that's run out. They want to get some experience in there. Fair play.
No, I think it's a shame that he didn't get the Panthers job.
Yeah,
that year in Arizona left a stench.
Yeah, right. Speaking of Panthers, though,
did
Frank Reich?
Yes,
I can't get excited about this.
I saw that they were trying to basically doing everything other than making reference to his record as a coach. Oh, it's the guy who threw the first ever touchdown for the Panthers, and now he's their coach.
Great.
Ignore what he did for the Colts. Well, you can't really.
Hang on. Why do you want to ignore what he did for the Colts?
But that's what it seemed like they were doing in all the media coverage.
But why would you? So his record at the Colts wasn't that bad. No. They were 3-3-1 when he got sacked this season. They probably would have won the division had they just stuck the course.
What was the biggest issue, though, in Indy?
They couldn't identify a quarterback.
And what's probably the
they
biggest issue
don't have a quarterback.
In
Yeah. I get this. This is what I was getting to. So he shouldn't be in charge of that process. He clearly isn't the right person for that. But assuming they're going to have someone assist that process, I actually think Frank Reich is a very astute hire. Like he's a sensible coach who can realistically be allowed to run a franchise. The Colts are not... The demise of the Colts is not purely on Frank Reich. Jim Irsay has a massive hand in that. Look at what's happened. Look, they ousted him at 3-3-1, top of the division, for Jeff Saturday, who won 1 game and lost 7 or 8 in a row.
They made him change the quarterback. Which is what Frank Reich didn't like. Yeah, Matt Ryan, all right, it wasn't stellar Matt Ryan, but Jesus, Sam Ellinger, it looked like you playing at quarterback. Like, that was nonsense that he was forced to change the quarterback. He didn't want to do that. You don't do that to a veteran like Matt Ryan. He was playing okay. He's just not a runner. So I think this is a sensible hire. I don't see how this is a problem. Yes, they're going to have to be better at identifying a quarterback. No, I do not think that's the end of the world. Lots of teams struggle with that. Frank Reich is a good head coach.
I feel like the Panthers might be going down to that territory of a really badly run franchise.
Now that I can't argue. I don't think that much of David Tepper.
Yeah. I feel that every decision so far that they seem to make has been the wrong decision.
As a head coach, Frank Reich is 40, 33 and 1. He's way over 500 for a head coach. His postseason, he's 1 and 2, which is not great. But, he's fine. They just had quarterback woes in Indy, and it's not all on him. Somebody in the front office should have been making better decisions as well. I think he genuinely thought he could get more out of Carson Wentz. That's what killed him. We got Carson Wentz. We thought we were going to get more out of him. He's done as a player.
He had experience working with Carson Wentz.
Yeah. He had the right to say he could get more out of him. Turned out Wentz is done as a player. That's not on him. But Jim Irsay meddles far too much. And so I've been critical of teams appointing young, untried coaches. Now, let's be honest. Daboll worked. Brilliant. Don't know if he qualifies as young, but brilliant. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell worked. Yep. That's fine.
Mike LaFleur.
That's
Matt LaFleur. Sorry.
Matt LaFleur. That's fine. That's worked. Mike McDaniels has worked.
Yeah.
No, exactly. There's a lot of untried, straight out of college. Fucking what's his name, Urban Meyer.
That whole college thing seems to have
that doesn't work. So I think this is a sensible. It's not flashy. It's just sensible. So maybe the front office isn't that bad. Maybe they know we can't follow this trend. We have to do something sensible. We have to solidify our base. Frank Reich in 3 years could be winning the division every time with this Panthers team because this is an open division. Brady will be gone.
Yes, that's pretty
much. The
much
Saints are run by Dennis Allen, and the Falcons are the Falcons.
What are the
this
Bucs
division
gonna do?
I don't know.
Fail, but they've got their Super Bowl. They don't care.
Fucking suck.
Yeah.
Implode.
Don't forget the Panthers were in.
Godwin on a free this year.
I don't know. The Panthers were in the run this year, until week 15.
Only because the division was so
bad. But what I'm saying is the division isn't likely to get better quickly.
Yeah.
But the Panthers could realistically make the playoffs in a terrible division with Frank Reich. I'm just saying, why not?
How badly are they over cap, John?
Well, they're 55 over cap, but 35 million of that is Tom Brady.
Is that with the new cap, though?
That's the Bucs.
The Bucs.
The Bucs, yeah.
Jesus.
There's a new cap as well.
Yeah. Go on. What was the new cap? 228 million?
220 something.
0.8 million.
Yeah. Yeah. They're 285 million.
It's gone up enough to pay your quarterback.
Inflation's a bitch.
That's what they're at the moment. So they need to do. Bucs need to do some trimming. I don't know. I'm just looking up the
some hiring as well.
Panthers. But yeah, it's the first ever purely offensive head coach for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Because Matt Rule wasn't either. He was neither offensive, but yeah.
He was offensive in terms of his results.
Yeah.
They also, Matt Rule had a 7-year contract, and Reich's only got 4. So it seems like they might be learning a bit that, you don't have to, go completely all in. Seeing as Cliff Clinkernuts has just bought a one-way ticket to Thailand.
I have to go all in or no one's happy.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
You can't just edge.
No one knows unless he goes all in.
Exactly.
All right, so player awards heading into the off-season. These will all be announced, I think it's the Saturday before the Super Bowl. We're going to run through the shortlist that were announced last week, who we think is going to win and who we think has been left off the shortlist. So MVP shortlist is Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and Justin Jefferson. I'm quite okay with that.
It's a good list. It'll be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
I think it'll be Mahomes as well.
It will be Mahomes.
Yeah. So that will probably mean that the player who we also think would be in the running for that will probably win Offensive Player of the Year.
It's going to be Justin Jefferson.
Could it not be Jalen Hurts?
It's going to be Justin Jefferson.
The shortlist is Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes. So they give one each.
I'd give it to Hurts, but I think it'd be Jefferson.
I'd give it to Jefferson. He had a great.
I can't argue with any of them winning it.
No. The amount of records he broke this year, he deserves it, doesn't he?
Oh, I think it has to be. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, Defensive Player of the Year, and you guys can argue all you want, but we think I know who John won't be voting for. Shortlist is Nick Bosa, Chris Jones, Micah Parsons.
Chris Jones.
Nick Bosa.
Not a chance. He's so overrated.
He's no Max Crosby.
Hassan Reddick's missing from this list.
Of course he is missing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Bosa.
Paul?
I like Parsons as a player.
He's not had as good a year this year as last year. They use him all over the place, don't they? They've got to settle him down a little bit, I think.
Yeah, but Bosa's been unplayable at times. He was too easily beaten this weekend, though.
He was. It's true. Comeback player of the year, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, or Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
I think Geno as well.
Because Saquon and McCaffrey, you would have expected them to come back and be good.
Yeah, but can you come back from just being a bit shit?
Yeah, but no.
You can't come back from the bench.
I'm with John.
I'd go Saquon.
It's Saquon all the way.
Saquon.
All the way. You cannot come back from just being thought to be a
I
bit
wouldn't be
shit.
surprised if they gave it to McCaffrey, though.
But
It should be Saquon.
Geno Smith was a running joke. Remember when Manning Eli lost his 280 game streak?
Yeah, to Geno Smith.
It's Geno Smith, and he was so derided for it.
Got his nose broken by his own teammate. Jaw.
Ike Incampale.
Yes.
No, that's how he used to speak afterwards. No, I don't think you can be comeback player after just being shit. That's not okay. Right, next.
Yeah, it's Saquon. I've just looked at his.
He's got 1,300 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. He's you know, this year is the first time he's played more than 5 games since 2014. But yeah, it wasn't like he was good in 2014. No. He was shit.
4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
He started brilliant, but the season did go off the boil for Geno as well.
For a team everybody thought would be CAC.
Paul, everyone agrees with what you're saying, Paul, apart from he can't win comeback player of the year.
If there was an award for most unexpected performance of the year, it would be Geno.
Clubman of the year,
yeah.
Geno Smith. Well done. Jim, next.
Coach of the year, Brian Dable, Doug Peterson, or Kyle Shanahan.
Dable.
I'm with you on this one, Dable.
I'm going to go Pedersen.
It's closer than I thought it would be. Pedersen's been great, but it should be Dable.
I think the Jags have come further this year than the Giants. I think the Jags were further away from the playoffs than the Giants were.
No, I don't.
The Giants' defense was already decent last year.
I think it's a toss-up, and I think the fact that the Jags made the playoffs might get it in for Pedersen, but Dable's done some amazing
I think there's
things.
more talent on the Jags squad. When you looked at the start of the season,
offensively,
a lot more talent on the Jags squad.
We'd kill for Zay Jones, and he's their weakest receiver.
Christian Kirk. Ooh, what would he do to your team? Ooh.
I mean, to say he's,
a wide receiver you'd recognise.
Yeah, and he's cheaper than Golladay.
Almost the entire league is cheaper than Golladay. Yeah. Kirk is not cheap.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, Brock Purdy, Kenneth Walker, III, or Garrett Wilson?
Wilson.
Kenneth Walker, III.
I'm going to go with Brock Purdy.
I'm going with Brock Purdy as well.
I don't feel that's a very strong list. I think there were some other players who could have made
won
that.
7 games in a row.
He did.
The 4th ever rookie quarterback to go to the championship game. Yeah. And he didn't do anything wrong to lose it. He just got hit, and they love giving it to quarterbacks. I would not be surprised if any of them
He's a good story. I think I like a good story.
He's Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
I like the story. I just think Garrett Wilson has been very good.
Yeah, been very good.
Chris Olave was missing off that list.
Yeah.
Why? Is it because the Saints were shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially.
He's been up and down throughout the season. I think there's a very good player that needs to
Dobbs as well. Romeo Dobbs did well at the end.
Christian Watson.
Watkins.
He sort of emerged right at the end. But
I like Garrett Wilson. I thought had a great
Garrett Wilson had a good season.
Well.
I think it's actually a really poor year for offensive rookies. I think there's a bit of standout.
There's not one standout, is there?
Yeah.
If ETN had technically not played last year, it would have been ETN. If Breece Hall hadn't got injured, it might have been Breece Hall.
I think,
Breece Hall would have been the shout.
I think it would have been comfortably Breece Hall,
Yeah. That's
all right. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Sauce Gardner, Aiden Hutchinson, or Tarek Woolen?
Sauce Gardner. There'll
Gardner.
be no one else.
Sauce all day.
Brilliant.
Aiden Hutchinson's have played well the last 6
First
games.
rookie cornerback to make the Pro Bowl.
I mean, that is literally it's my diet. Sauce all day. That's
Can I go with Tarek Woolen? I thought he was brilliant.
Great season.
Only one that appeared in the playoffs as well. He was brilliant from start to finish, and I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, just say Jets draft that year, pretty decent.
Yes.
Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. And then finally, Assistant Coach of the Year, Ben Johnson, the Offensive Coordinator for the Lions.
Stupid award.
DeMeco Ryan.
This is the tallest Wolf award.
And Shane Steichen, the Defensive Coordinator for the Eagles.
I don't think anyone here gives a fuck.
I think it's DeMeco
Ben
Ryan.
Johnson, because he's been fucking fun all year. They've been great.
I couldn't tell you who he is.
He's the Lions' defensive coordinator.
An athlete.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't he get caught for doing drugs? That's him, right?
Ben Johnson.
To run for Canada. That was him, wasn't it?
The thing is, it's only fair we give the
Massive
ones,
cheat.
the only ones we give them an award because we're very quick to slag them off, as you know, we have done for quite.
We
a
love
few
slagging
years.
people off, John.
I know, but it's only fair if we do that we say actually, you know what, Ben Johnson's had a really good year. I thought he was the best coordinator.
Okay. Anything else for anyone to add before I round it up?
Sweetest player of the week.
Yeah, go on. You already dumped it on us earlier.
I was going to say Hassan Reddick.
Anyone else want to nominate anything for the Sweetest Player of the Week? Brought to you by tootsweets.shop.
I don't want to talk about it.
You only had 2 games, John.
Well, there was a Jamar Chase catch on fourth
that
down,
was
which was really,
Double
really
teamed,
good, but they still lost.
Valdez-Scantling
Valdez-Scantling was good.
TD catch was
If
very
the
good.
throw was Devonta
good.
Smith catch was actually a catch, that would have been in there.
See, I'd have nominated it anyway because he managed to get everyone back to the line and get them playing. But
Yeah. But yeah.
the Sky Moore punt return, which basically got the Chiefs to far enough in. I know they needed the penalty, but without the punt return, there was nothing there. I mean,
I'll go with the Valdez-Scantling, but I sort of think it probably should be the Hassan Reddick.
I'm going with Reddick all day. It won the game for the Eagles early in the game.
I'm going with Devonta Smith catching it on 4th down.
I thought you might somehow. I think we're going to carry Hassan Reddick. That's the official word from the top.
Okay,
He
cool.
needs to get one award this year.
He does indeed. Anything else?
Sponsored by tootsweets.shop.
Thanks, John.
Griff added that already.
I did, but I'm really hoping
Sorry.
for extra sweets for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What's the chap's name?
His name's Rich.
Rich.
Yeah.
Come on, Rich. Where are the sweets for the Super Bowl?
Lay up, Rich.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
Been doing this all season. Got a wonderful list on Twitter of the sweetest plays we had.
Do we have a vote winner for that?
Yeah, it was Jefferson against Bills.
That catch, yeah.
That was a great
That
catch.
was the regular season one. I don't think there's been anything in the postseason to beat it.
Well, I don't know.
agree.
Did
No,
you
I
see
agree
Hassan
with
Reddick knock the 49ers fans out of the playoffs? That was pretty sweet.
I mean, I laughed a lot. Isn't that why we all watch football?
I drank a lot.
Yeah.
You did. That ties the podcast up nicely for this week. We'll be back next week to preview the Super Bowl and discuss any further changes in the NFL before said Super Bowl game. Thank you and good night.